Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
हरे कृष्ण वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य शीला हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। शीला प्रभुपाद की जय। असमल डिवोटीज की जय। हरे कृष्णा, प्लीज accept my humble obeisances. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devadasi welcoming all of you to Bhakti Sangha conference call. I thank all of you for attending this session. Please forgive me for interrupting your ecstatic chanting. I would like to read the 10 offenses to the holy name which are to be avoided, written by Srila Vyasadeva in Padma Purana. 1. To blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their life for propagating the holy name of the Lord. 2. To consider the name of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal or to be independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. 3. To disobey the order of the spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in pursuance to the Vedic version. 5. To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. 6. To give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. 8. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in Vedas as fruitive activity karma kanda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. 10. To not to have a complete faith in chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachment even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success of Krishna Prema. Once again, I thank everyone for joining today's Bhakti Sangha conference call. Before we move on to our next part of the session, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class, may I know who all joined this morning?
हरे कृष्णा विनीता गंधर्विका माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, गुरु महाराज की जय, प्रीतिदासी प्रसाद। हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna, Preeti Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your association every day. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Arvind Daksdat from Chicago. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Arvind Daksha Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for joining and giving your association. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. This is Yashmati Priya Devidasi from Chicago, Belgium.
Hare Krishna, Yashmati Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your association. Welcome to the call, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji. All glories Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajis. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidas from Raleigh, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your association. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna, Vinda Gandharika Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam to you and all the devotees. All glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. All glories to Assembled devotee. This is Mohini Lakshmi from Detroit.
Hare Krishna, Mohini Lakshmi Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your recitation. Welcome to the call. Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Okay, I will chant Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Stop the recording. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Samarpana Gopa Prabhu to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th canto, 7th chapter, 24th verse. Before I hand over the call to Prabhuji, I request Suresh Sham Prabhu to take over the call from here and give a brief introduction.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Here is a brief introduction about Prabhuji. His Grace Samarpana Gopadas, formerly known as Sumit Kelkar, hails from a traditional Maharashtrian Brahmin family in Nasik. An academically accomplished individual, he pursued his BE in Mechanical Engineering from PVG College of Engineering and Technology, Pune, graduating in 2005 as one of the top 3 rankers of his batch. Despite a promising career in engineering, he has dedicated his life in the spiritual upliftment of the society since 2011. He has been serving as a full-time brahmachari at ISKCON NVCC Pune, applying and sharing the wisdom of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. He completed a 2-year residential Bhakti Vedanta Vidyapit course from 2015 to 2017 at GV, which included an in-depth study of Bhakti Vaibhav under the guidance of His Grace Radhe Shyam Prabhu. Additionally, he rendered dedicated services for 3 years in the traveling Sankirtan bus party, distributing Srila Prabhu books in the villages of Maharashtra, helping spread spiritual knowledge. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Back to you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for that brief introduction. Hare Krishna Samarpana Gopa Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhu. I'm wishing you happy Balram Purnima. Here we celebrated yesterday. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for giving your valuable time and association this morning and enlightening us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. I now hand over the call to you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I hope am I audible?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Okay. Number of obeisance to everyone and happy Balram Purnima. There you had yesterday, like last time it was reverse. there was Ekadashi at your place, and so it's amazing. You can have benefit of both places. This Krishna consciousness is amazing. Prabhupada has created. So I have
Also,
opportunity to
we
glorify
remember
Lord.
we always used to feel like sometimes they used to say in other country, because many people join from different zones, so they say our Balram Purnima is today. So we feel like in universe somewhere somebody is celebrating it. Everybody
Exactly.
is a
Yeah.
festival. Haribol.
That's amazing extrapolation. So it's all festival every day in one sense. That's all. So thank you for giving me opportunity to glorify Krishna on this auspicious day of Balaram Jayanti. And so let us begin with Mangalacharan. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yapravrajantamanapeta apeta krityam dvaipayano virahakatar ajuhava putreti tanmayataya taravo vinetus tam sarvabhutaridayam manimanatosmi yasyanubhavamakhilashruti saramekam adhyatmadhipa atitirishataam tamondham samsarina karunaya purana तं व्याससूनु उपयामि गुरुं मुनीनां नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः Hare Krishna. So we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam 10 to 8, chapter 7, entitled The Lord Shiva Saves the Universe by Drinking Poison. Text 24. Tvam Brahma Paramam Guhyam Sadasat Bhava Bhavanam Nana Shaktibhir Abhatas Tamatma Jagadishvara Tvam Brahma Paramam Guhyam Sadasat Bhava Bhavanam Nana Shaktibhir Abhatas Tamatma Jagadishvara Tvam Brahma Paramam Guhyam Sadasat Bhava Bhavanam Nana Shaktibhir Abhatas Tamatma Jagadishvara. The word to word meaning, translation, and purport by Divine Grace Abhay Charnarvinda Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Tvam, your Lordship, Brahma, the impersonal Brahma, Paramam, Supreme, Guhyam, confidential, Sad Asad Bhava Bhavanam, the cause of varieties of creation, its cause and effect. Nana Shakti Vihi, with varieties of potencies. Abhata, manifest. Tvam, you are. Atma, the super soul. Jagadishvara, the supreme personality of Godhead. Translation. You are the cause of all causes, the self-effulgent, inconceivable, impersonal Brahman, which is originally Parabrahman. You manifest various potencies in this cosmic manifestation. Purport. This prayer is offered to the impersonal Brahman, which consists of the effulgent rays of Parabrahman. Parabrahman is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Parabrahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhava. Bhagavad Gita 10.12. When Lord Shiva is worshipped as Parabrahman, the worship is meant for Lord Vishnu. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। तं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम्। तस्मात् विगतविक्लव ईश्वरस्य सर्वात्मना महिषाणां यथा मनीषं नीचो यो गुणविसर्ग अनुप्रविष्ट पूज्येत हि त्वमाननुवर्तेन यन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम् अन्यस्य हस्तचरणश्रवणपदादि नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं भूतैर्महद्भिर्यतिमां पुरा प्रभो निर्माल्यशेते यदमोक्षपुरुषः भुङ्क्ते गुणान् षोडशात्मकं स्वलङ्कृतेशिष्टभगवन् वचांसि मे यथा हरौ भगवती नृणां भक्तिर्भविष्यति सर्वात्मनि अखिलाधार इति संकल्पवर्णय। Hare Krishna. So, welcome all of you for this discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, the regular discussions which are going on since long time. So first of all, let us remember some glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. सर्वशास्त्राब्धिपीयूष सर्ववैदेकसत्फल सर्वसिद्धान्तरत्नाढ्य सर्वलोकैकदृक्पृत सर्वभागवतः प्राण श्रीमद्भागवतः प्रभु कलौ ध्वान्तोदितोदित्य श्रीकृष्ण परिवर्तिता. This verse is speaking about the different amazing, unique and unparalleled qualities of this book, which is not a book actually, it's a non-different and supreme Lord. So it is giver of Sarva Lokaika Drik Prada. So all 14 planetary systems are awarded the right vision by Srimad Bhagavatam. And it is prana of all Bhagavatas. All the great Vaishnavas, their heartbeat is Srimad Bhagavatam. So that glorious literature is what we are discussing. Fortunately, by mercy of His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, who has written his transcendental purports. So, however, today's verse has a very small purport. So I was thinking about how to fluff this purport, right? So I just thought of something. So let us begin our discussion with this reflection on the glory of Srimad Bhagavatam and how important it is to associate with Srimad Bhagavatam. So either by hearing or speaking, or we are trying to repeat the words of Srila Prabhupada and the previous acharyas. So all of us, including me, are actually supposed to hear. So let us try to do that properly. As there is one saying, cafe coffee day. A lot can happen over a coffee. So similarly, I thought over some experiences of Bhagavatam class that a lot can happen over Bhagavatam class if we are receptive, if we are tuned in with right intent and intensity and respectfulness, then a lot can happen over Bhagavatam. So let us see the context before the text. So there are many contexts to be seen in terms of the whole Bhagavatam is 18,000 verses, the big con. So Uttara Sarga Visargasya Sthanam Poshanam Upayah Manvantareshanukah Nirodho Muktirashraya Dashamasya Vishuddhartham Navanami Halakshanam Varnayanti Mahatmanah Shutena Arthena Chanjas. So the great souls, Mahatmas like Shukdev Goswami, Suta Goswami, Maitreya Muni, and sincere followers of Shukdev Goswami, they explain all the 9 topics of Srimad Bhagavatam, indicating and isolating the 10 topic of Ashraya, Ashraya Tattva. So these other 9 topics are coming in the subsequent cantos after the prelude of Srimad Bhagavatam, in the first 2 cantos. So after establishing the adhikar of hearer and adhikar of speaker, that is qualification, and in the second canto establishing the sadhana to be Navavidha Bhakti, characterized by Shravanam of all kinds of pastimes, beginning with Srishti Leela, Avatar Leela, and Krishna Leela, Vrindavan Leela, Radha Krishna Leela, etc., and Ras Leela, culminating in that. Of course, Kurukshetra Leela and everything else also. And Prabhash Leela, not just. So, hearing of those pastimes, characterized by that. So that way, the third canto onwards starts Sarga, Visarga, Sthana, etc. So the 8th canto, currently the context is Manvantarani Sadharma. So the different Manvantaras are explained, where Sadharma is established by all Manus, with 6 administrators in place. So Manu, Manuputra, Indra, Devatas, sages, and Manvantara Avatar. So this is administration of universe, and the purpose of administration is to establish Sadharma. What is Sadharma? Sadharma is pure devotional service. Or to be more specific, the process by which one practices pure devotional service to attain the spiritual world. That is called Sharanagati. So Sadharma is Sharanagati, and Sharanagati is explained in 8th canto. So we already saw first there was Artha surrender of Gajendra, and currently we are seeing the Artharthi surrender of the Devatas in Samudra Manthan. So this is the current Prakarana or episode which we are seeing, where Devatas have lost their position due to the curse of Durvasa Muni, where Indra just took the garland and he did value it, but every day he was getting, so it was not so much. So he put it to elephant and then ended up getting curse and losing their position. So it all began with disrespecting a sage or great soul. And then they all went to Brahma. And Brahma takes them to the Supreme Lord, Brahma being the best administrator. He's a pure devotee. He wants them to take shelter of God. And there are prayers, from 8.5.26 to 50. There are 2 sets of prayers before Lord appears and after Lord appears. Beautiful prayers by Brahmaji, representing demigods. And then Lord is giving them very nice strategy of truce. Don't become fearful of halal and don't become greedy for the products. And he instructed them, and then they did follow the instruction, approached Bali. And in this chapter, in 7th chapter, you see that the churning happens. Right? So this is Artharthi Sharanagati, reviving their position. And then we have Jigyasu Sharanagati of Lord Shiva was curious to see the Mohini Murti. which he didn't saw. He was all participating in this Samudra Manthan except that part. So then that Sharanagati is there, and that is one of the most amazing surrenders. And then lastly there is Vigyasu, Jnani Sharanagati of last 24th chapter, where Satyavat Muni is praying to the Supreme Lord as spiritual master. His 8th verses in glorification, Matsya Avatar. So that is there, Artha Jigyasu Artha Jnani. But the pure surrender of Bali Maharaj is there. Pure surrender. So this is Sharanagati. Sharanagati means one has to know whom to take shelter of. So in this context, now current Prakarana I told, the episode is of Samudra Manthan. We can see that Devatas, when they are in need, they are approaching Brahma, their authority. Then Brahma is taking them to Vishnu. And after that, now they are approaching Shiva and they are offering prayers as if he is like Vishnu. So actually, Sharanagati requires right conception of the Ashraya Tattva, right sadhana, and right level of Sharanagati or surrender. Then only we can approach the highest goal which is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. So, since this purport was smaller, I wish to read another purport of Srila Prabhupada, which is very much similar to this in the sense of the context. So, just let us see that. Just showing you. So, this is a beautiful verse. So, this I'm just trying to repeat few words spoken by Param Pujya Bhakti Vigyan Goswami Maharaj. So, this is 10.1.1. This is the very first verse of 10th canto. And Srila Sridhar Swami is writing a beautiful verse. So this is there, it seems it is quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita 20.151 to 156. Right? So this is the 151st verse. So Dashame Dashamam Laksham Ashrita Ashraya Vigraham Shri Krishnakhyam Param Dhama Jagad Dhama Namami Tat. The 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam reveals the 10th object, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the shelter of all surrendered souls. He is known as Shri Krishna and he is the ultimate source of all universes. Let me offer my obeisances unto him. So, Srila Prabhupada's purport from Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is quotation from the Bhavartha Deepika, Sridhar Swami's commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam 10.1.1. In the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a description of Ashraya Tattva, Shri Krishna. There are two tattvas, Ashraya Tattva and Ashrita Tattva. Ashraya Tattva is objective and Ashrita Tattva is subjective. Under the lotus feet of Shri Krishna, the entire Mahat Tattva is existing. Since everything is under Shri Krishna's protection, Shri Krishna is called Ashraya Tattva. Everything else is Ashrita Tattva. The material creation is also Ashrita Tattva. Liberation from material bondage and attainment of spiritual platform are also Ashrita Tattva. Krishna is only Ashraya Tattva. And this, in the beginning of the creation, there are Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. They are also Ashraya Tattva. Krishna is the cause of all causes. Sarva Karana Karanam. Brahma Samhita 5.1. And this is a very amazing statement which Prabhupada ends with. To understand Krishna perfectly, one has to make an analytical study of Ashraya Tattva and Ashrita Tattva. So, if you see this verse is telling Dashame Dashamam Laksham. In the 10th topic of Bhagavatam is told in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Dashame Dashamam Laksham. What is that? Ashrita Ashraya Vigraham. It is a personification of all that means. the supreme shelter. The shelter of all surrendered souls, Prabhupada says. So that is Sri Krishnakhyam Param Dham. This Param Dham is shelter of surrendered souls. His name is Krishna and it is a personification of Ashrita. And his lotus feet are the shelter of all the surrendered souls in the spiritual world, Param Dham. And he is controlling material world also, Jagat Dham. Right? So in this verse also, current Bhagavatam verse is also similar. It is telling two things actually. This verse particularly, if you see, there are two things are told in this particular verse. Right? So what are these two things? The two aspects of absolute truth. Right? The Param Brahma, you can see here. So Tvam Brahma Paramam Guhyam. Yeah. So before going to the verse, let us see. We have seen the overall context, but the context of the current verse. So what has happened before? So we saw the episode and chapter 7. What is happening? Having got instruction from Lord. So 7th chapter, first 17 verses, Lord is taking different roles because they started executing the instructions seriously. They approached Bali and went to Mandara mountain and everything. So Lord personally helped them at all stages of churning, right from beginning the churning rod itself. Right? So all of that you saw in first 17 verses. Lord took form of Ajita, Kurma, and then Sahastra, Sahastra Murti, he started churning from top, right? So Lord is assisting in all stages of manthan to churn effectively. And then 18 to 20, the halahal comes. Right? So actually, this process of churning is a very important process. So my spiritual master has given one lecture called Spiritual Life Means Warfare. So he brilliantly says there that actually Krishna consciousness is nothing but churning our consciousness so that nectar can be produced. So what is churning actually? Churning means to bring out the essence from everything else. So like butter from the yogurt or milk, for example. So butter is already there, but you have to follow procedure to bring out the butter, right? So process of sadhana bhakti is to churn the ocean of our consciousness by sadhana, characterized by Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, etc. So it's a warfare, and how demigods are teaching us, Lord is teaching us that there will be a lot of challenges in that. All the Tinangala fish and all, they start agitating. All the material desires will start agitating, will start shouting like anything. And then we have to take shelter of Lord and his Vaishnava devotees. Like Falahal has come. So my spiritual master very alarmingly says that first, when we begin churning, we have to be prepared to see all that is horrible within us before we see the Supreme Lord and love for love. We have to see how much we don't love Lord first before love of God awakens. So this is churning which they are undergoing, and halahal has come now. And now that has created so much of effect and so much dangerosities that along with Supreme Lord Ajita, they are approaching Lord Shiva. So we need the Vaishnava community where Hari, Guru and Vaishnavas are there, affectionate relationships, especially with the great souls, where we take shelter of them. We can't do anything of this poison ourselves. So demigods from 21, so they approach after 20th verse, 21 to 35 are the prayers of demigods to Shiva. And they are praying as if he is Supreme Lord, right? But Lord Shiva is having clear understanding of what. Actually, in one sense, they are over respecting Shiva to be Vishnu. But Shiva is not getting on cloud nine, or his head is not going in clouds. Shiva and Brahma are the best administrators. If any administrator want to learn something, we can learn from them. So they are perfectly situated Vaishnavas. So 21 to 35 are the prayers which current discussion is. Right? And from 21 to 23, we see that first they offer very clearly Deva Deva Mahadeva Bhutanam Bhuta Bhavana. So they are very clearly indicating Mahadeva is Shiva. And they are like Artha. Now this is Artha Sankirtan, you can say. Artha Sankirtan, you understand? Mahaprabhu has come to establish Prema Sankirtan. But that is very high. First we have, when we are in difficulty approaching the Supreme Lord or devotee. So they are doing this Artha Sankirtan. So first thing they are telling that deliver us who have come here in surrender from the poison which is burning the three worlds. And then they quickly say the next verse. Tameka sarva jagata ishvaro vandamokshayoho. Tam tvam archanti kushalaha prapannarti haram gurum. So you alone are the controller of the whole universe and the controller of bondage and liberation. Intelligent people worship you. The Guru who takes away distress of surrendered souls. So actually, if Shiva has to say that Vishnu is protector of all beings, I am not protector, take shelter of him. Then they say, no, you are the only Lord. There are not many Lords. So their indication, Vishwanath says that, and Prabhupada also says that, actually they are praying to Vishnu one. So you and Vishnu are one. The only difference being that you are touched by the three modes and Vishnu is not. So that way they are offering respects to Vishnu. Right? So that is 22nd verse. And 23rd verse, they continue their way of offering prayers to Vishnu only, especially the Purusha avatar. Gunamaya Swashaktasya Sargasthiti Apyayam Vibho Dhaste Yad Swadrik Bhuman Brahma Vishnu Shivabdam. So let us see here. O Lord, you are self-effulgent and supreme. You create this metal world by your personal energy and you assume the names Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwar when you act in creation, maintenance and annihilation. So they are indicating to Garbhodakshaya Vishnu or third Purush. Third Purush. So basically Purush avatar. So from him comes these three Gunavatars. Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwar. Right? So that's what they are indicating. And then the present verse comes. Right? So actually, so here Prabhupada also says this prayer is actually offered to Vishnu, Purusha, who in his incarnations as Guna Avtaras assumes the name Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh. Right? So this is a very clearly indicated by the commentaries, and even demigods are understanding to some extent. And this verse is talking about, the first line is talking about the impersonal Brahma. Tvam Brahma Paramam Guhyam Sadasat Bhava Bhavanam. So you are that Parama Guhya Brahma. So extremely difficult to comprehend or inconceivable or confidential. Impersonal Brahma. So that's what is Achintya Bheda Abheda. Here they are coming to the point. And the next line, they are saying, Nana Shakti Bhir Abhatas Tvam Atma Jagadishwar. So you have multiple potencies. Abhata means you manifest with many energies. Right? And you are same super soul also, who is Jagadishwara. So Jagad Dhama Namami Tat. So you are controller of this material world. So when they say Sadasad Bhava, so you can see here, you create the living beings superior and inferior natures such as Devatas and demons. So that's how they are praising Vishnu now. Right? So that's how this whole prayer, and then the rest of the prayers, if you see, the next prayer is going to praise him as the ultimate expression of all words, the sound vibration. And then the 5 verses from 26 onwards, that will be talking about the Lord is everything in the universe. And the last portion of verses, they will come to the point of please do help us to deal with the poison. So that's how these prayers are there. So the first part of prayer, if we see that this Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva is something which is the most confidential. So Brahman is also very inconceivable subject matter, actually, as it is told here. Because it is just an existence. Right? Only for Vaishnavas, their understanding is it is the effulgence, like Prabhupada says, right? In the purport, that this impersonal Brahman is what? It is effulgent rays of Parabrahma. Parabrahma has Vigraha. Ashrita Ashraya Vigraha. Even the shelter of Brahman is also Parabrahma. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Brahmano hi pratisthaham amritasya avyayasya shashvatasya dharmasya sukham aikantikasya. So I am shelter of that Parabrahma. Right? So this whole Bhagavatam is actually teaching us, which is what is that? Is the Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva. So even in Bhagavad Gita, you will see that it is necessary to understand and digest this concept of Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva to be able to practice pure devotional service consistently and intensely. That's how Krishna speaks this Achintya Bheda Ved. Now here what they are saying, Shiva, you are not different than Vishnu. And Vishnu is not different than Brahman, and so on. Right? And then Garbhodakshay Vishnu, and then these three Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Right? So that way, there is a lot of oneness and there is a lot of difference. Like Lord Shiva, especially in India, you will see that there are many Shiva worshippers and there are Vishnu worshippers. But there are very few who know who is who. Like in South India, there is one place, I think where it is. There is Govindaraj temple and there is Nataraj temple in front of each other. And there, Lord Nityananda went there and he saw them fighting with each other. And Lord Nityananda was laughing loudly because, yeah, Chidambaram. Yes, Mother. Thank you. So I heard that means there are some Shaivites, they will go like this, to take only darshan of Nataraj, who is dancing for pleasure of Govindaraj. And there are some Vaishnavas who will go like this, we will only take darshan of Govindaraj and not Nataraj. So Nityananda was loudly laughing because they don't understand that these two people are very happy with each other. But the followers have problem because they don't understand who is who, actually. So, actually, to take shelter or surrender, we have to be very clear with Ashraya Tattva properly. Otherwise, as recently Sriman Chaitanya Charan Prabhu had come here and he spoke brilliantly from Prahlad Maharaja's prayer. The Prahlad Maharaj is saying that you are everything, my Lord. Balasya Neha Sharanam Pitaro Nrsimha onwards, he is speaking 3-4 verses. You are everything. You are only manifesting as parents, doctors, and everything. And then what to speak of that? Anything which is produced by the samsara, all these 7 vibhaktis, yasmin, yarhi, yena, yasmad, everything is you only, my Lord. So, how we understand this Prahlad Maharaj emotion? So he was telling that this Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva is very essential to understand, to take shelter properly. So the understanding of Ashraya Tattva or God is multifold as Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. Right? So surely that is there. So there are people who are atheists. They don't believe, no God. So their whole life is more or less, they think that everything is by chance and everything is for enjoyment, right? What 16th chapter Bhagavad Gita says, Kama itukam. Kimanyat kama itukam. What else is other purpose than enjoyment? So their life is futile. There are some people little elevated, they say that many gods like Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu, Ganesh, Panchopasana are 30, so many gods. So there seem to be competition among gods, right? So this pastime also can be understood at different levels. Exactly what is happening, who is surrendering to whom, is to be clearly understood. Otherwise, it is seen as competition by Saivites and Vaishnavas. The higher understanding is one God. So this multiple God, the people feel there is competition between the gods. Right? And higher than that is one God. One God means all cause of my distress is my misbehavior or misaction that displease the Lord. But the highest understanding is only God. Means what? Everything is God. But at the same time, everything is not. So that is what Krishna is speaking in 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which is Paramaguhya. Here, Devatas are saying Paramaguhya is Brahman. But Brahman is Paramaguhya in terms of conception. But most confidential knowledge is this Achintya Bheda Veda Tattva, which is the, I would say, the unique presentation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his followers, by which you can reconcile all other philosophies and all other even Vaishnava doctrines also in the right perspective. Right? So that Achintya Bheda Veda Tattva has to be very clearly understood. Otherwise, such prayers can be misused by different people that see here, Shiva is shown as to be Supreme Lord. But what is the understanding? What is the understanding of Shiva? So Srila Jiva Goswami very clearly says, I think you might have discussed this, but quickly I would like to show. The very first verse of this section very clearly speaks what is it. So this is the first verse in this prayer. So which already we just read. So very clearly Sridhar Swami says that Devata glorify Shiva through exploits of Vishnu. Right? So they are like sometimes you see, sometimes you are trying to preach to new people, and as you are trying to serve them and uplift them on instruction of your spiritual master, sometimes they respect you so much, like you are spiritual master. So, but a genuine devotee will never take that seriously. He will put everything, all the respect, he will just put it to his spiritual masters. Right? The same thing, Shiva is being glorified like that, but he never takes like that. So this means Vishnu is root of his actions. The praises culminate in the names. They praised him in order to destroy the poison. So that is what is indicated in these verses. And Shiva himself will declare that in 8.7.40, in this very chapter, Shiva will tell Parvati, O gentle Bhavani, when one performs benevolent activities for others, the Supreme Lord is very pleased. And when the Lord is pleased, I am also pleased, along with all other living creatures. Therefore, let me drink this poison. May all the living entities have auspicious existence because of it. So this is very clear. Shiva personally is saying, Pumsam kripayato bhadre sarvatma priyate harihi. So Hari is Sarvatma. And whatever is pleasurable to him, Prite Harau Bhagavati. Prite Aham Sarvatma. What will please him, that only I am pleased, and along with all. So this is how Lord Shiva is very clear. And same thing he says to even Durvas Muni who comes to him. So here he is saying, my dear Durvas Muni, please don't think you are my expansion only. But my dear son, We cannot compete with Supreme Lord, within whom the thousands of universes in which we wander in bewilderment arise and destroyed with time. So you have come to me, no, please go to him only. So Lord Shiva is only saying. Same Lord Shiva is saying elsewhere also. And same, basically he is indicating the Supreme Lord. Ete vayam yasya vashe mahatmana sitaha sakunta iva sutrayantita. We are controlled like that. Right? So that's why Lord Shiva's words are the proof to not misunderstand these prayers. So this Achintya Bhed Abhed Tattva is what is all over Srimad Bhagavatam. It is there in Bhagavad Gita in 9th chapter, which is essential concept to grasp. So that is what is even this verse also is speaking about Brahman as well as Vishnu being three sources of energy. Right? So having said that, now in this particular verse, what is told is they are telling about Lord Vishnu has three energies and Parabrahma, right? These two things. So coming back to now Ashraya Tattva, that means I left it in between, right? When I was explaining this Dashame Dashamam Laksham, right? Yeah. So coming back to that, what is important is Prabhupada is saying to understand Krishna perfectly, one has to make an analytical study of Ashraya Tattva and Ashrit Tattva. Right? So that's what it means. So Sharanagati, which is the topic of this whole canto, we have to have right conceptions of what is what. So what is Brahman, what is Paramatma, and what is Bhagavan? And what is Swayam Bhagavan? And what is Swayam Bhagavan in Vrindavan? Right? So this is what is essential. So three things are essential because Bhagavatam is presented in such a way by Shukdev Goswami to take us to that highest realization of Bhagavan, which does his unrestricted activities in Golokunda. Right? So, but it is telling us, taking us through the stages of proper understanding of absolute truth to the highest. That is Bhagavatam. But how we will approach when we have appropriate concept or conception, appropriate sadhana, and appropriate level of surrender. Right? So this Vishwanath also says that sankalpa and sadhana, these two things are very essential. What is your methodology or process and what is your conception where your sambandha abhideya prayojana is directed, and with that appropriate level of sadhana. So if you take Brahman now, so Brahman, what is Brahman? So here in this verse it is told, what is told? This is Tam Brahma Parama Guhyam Sada Sadbhava Bhava. So it's what is Brahman realization? So Prabhupada gives that analogy of train or mountain, right? Which all of you know, you have heard. So it's just potencies of law. Chinmatra Satta means what? Only existence which is spiritual, which gives life to everything in this world. So in 7th chapter of Gita, Krishna is telling what is this. So Rasoham Apsu Kaunteya, from the pleasure of drinking water to the pleasure of religious sex life. Everything else in between, the potency and the experience is given by the Supreme Lord. The taste of water, etc. Right? So that potency, that state of existence is coming because of Lord's entry into the material. And that's why to understand that potency and be grateful to that potency, like Prabhupada writes in that verse, when a devotee drinks water, impersonal also drinks water, and he says that, okay, the Supreme Lord is water's taste. That's all. But when a devotee drinks water, what he feels is he has feeling of gratitude that I am thirsty and Krishna is so kind enough to give me the water to quench my thirst. So there is a personal feeling of gratitude, which cannot come in impersonalists, right? Because they see that everything, sarvam khalvidam brahma, that's. So it is an indistinct understanding of absolute truth. It's a preliminary understanding of absolute truth. As Prabhupada says, you see the mountain from very far, it may appear like cloud only. It is indistinct. You can't see the differences. Everything, there is no dhyaya dhata, there is no mediator, there is no meditation object, there is no meditator. So there is nothing, no duality, nothing. So this is surely has experience of Atma, right? But it is very preliminary understanding of absolute. Higher than that is Paramatma realization. What is that? That is God of material world. God means what? Generator, operator, destroyer. So he also has energies. Now this second part of the verse. Nana Shakti Bhir Avatas Tvam Atma Jagadishwara. So Jagadishwaraha is what is Paramatma. The controller of material world. Jiva Maya Shakti Niyanta. This is Paramatma. This is generator, operator, destroyer. This is the highest understanding of many other religions, that God is one who is controller, operator, and destroyer. But that is just a small portion of the Supreme Lord. That Lord says in 8th chapter, right? Athava kimayatena kim jnatena charjuna vishthabhyam hi idam kritsnam ekamshena sthito jagat. And then he says that how much I can explain, my dear Arjuna. What is that next verse? That यद्यद् विभूति मत्सत्वं श्रीमत् ऊर्जितमेव वा तत्तदेवावगच्छत्वं मम तेजांश संभवम्. My dear Arjuna, whatever you see beautiful, attractive, valuable, you just understand that it's just a spark of my splendor. How much I can tell about my opulences? So Krishna is telling in 10th chapter, right? So, and Arjuna is asking for our case that how we should remember. So that part is Bhagavan. So Jiva Maya Shakti Niyanta, the control of Jiva Shakti and Maya Shakti. Jiva Jagat Jagadish, right? So here it is Jagat. What is that? Jagadishwara. So that is Paramatma. And that is second level. But what is the highest level of realization? So Paramatma is also one or at the most three, right? Three Antaryamis are. The Paramatma of every living entity, Shirodakshay Vishnu, Paramatma of one universe, or Paramatma of Brahma, you can say, is Garbhodakshay Vishnu. And Paramatma of the entire Prakriti is the Mahavishnu, right? Veshti, Samashti, and Prakriti Antaryam. So at the most, Paramatma can go. So Sharanagati, you can't surrender to Brahman. There is no Sharanagati there much. Okay? And Paramatma, there is Sharanagati to the Lord who is controller of matter. However, Bhagavatam is not teaching us this. Bhaktas approach Bhagavan. So what is Bhagavan? Bhagavan is having many Shaktis for his enjoyment. So Bhagavan means the Lord of the spiritual world. Right? So Swarupa Shakti Niyanta, not Maya Jiva Shakti Niyanta. So Swarup Shakti can include all the pure devotees, the eternally liberated soul and associates of Lord. And Lord Vraja Jana Ranjan, what Jai Radha Madhav we sing, that is Swayam Bhagavan. So that Bhagavan realization is what is essentially Shukdev Goswami wants us to approach. That's why he's taking us through all these things. And when it comes to Sharanagati to Bhagavan, then there are so many Bhagavan, right? Matsya, Kur. Now in this pastime only you see so many avatars are there. So whom to surrender? And how to surrender? So this is the subject matter of 8th canto. The Sharanagati is the essential aspect. And Srila Prabhupada in 18.66 and 67, it is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada says the devotees should not divert their attention to any form other than Sham Sundar, even Narsimha, Vamana, etc. No. So that is Srila Prabhupada who is giving us as a Gaudiya Vaishnava, the highest, right? What Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give us. So we need to have proper conception of the absolute truth, proper process, and proper level of surrender, which can be, well, Vyavasayatmika Buddhi to Krishna. So Bhagavatam is all topics are taking only one topic only, that is Krishna, right? Dashame, Dashamam Laksham, right? So everything is Krishna Katha only. That way, if we see, then entire Bhagavatam can inspire us to serve Krishna, please Krishna, and Hari Guru and Vaishnava. So that way, this verse is speaking about different concepts actually. Right? So that is what I wanted to say. And the last thing I would say, it's already 5:43. So do we have some more time, Mataji, or is I think it's already time?
No, Prabhuji, you can go ahead, Prabhu, for some time. No worries.
Maybe another 5 minutes or so, and then some.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, you can go ahead 5 minutes. No problem.
Just one thing which I would like to mention here is that this position of Shiva and Vishnu is to be clearly also understood. So actually, this is very beautifully told in the first canto, second chapter. So what is that? So that chapter is essence of entire Bhagavatam. These two chapters, second and third chapter of first canto, and I would say the fifth chapter also, where the instructions on Srimad Bhagavatam are given to Vedas. Entire seeds of entire Bhagavatam are there in this chapter. So what is this second chapter? Divinity and divine service. So what is divine service? Is pure devotional service. Savai pumsa paro dharmo yato bhakti radhokshi. And that is spoken from 6th verse till 22nd verse. So that is divine service, pure devotional service. Then what is divinity? Divinity is to understand the Bhagavan. And everyone else is not Bhagavan and they should not be worshipped. So that verse is speaking about Shiva, and so this is 1.2.23. Yeah. So that is, so it is speaking Sattvam Rajastama iti Prakruter Gunastai Yuktah Parapurusha Eka Ihasya Dhatti Ityadaye Hari Virinchi Hareti Sanya Shriyansi Tatra Khalu Satpanyo Pranamsyu. So it is speaking something similar of previous verse as well as this verse to some extent. The one Supreme Purusha accepting the modes of Prakriti known as Sattva Rajas Tamas for creation, maintenance and destruction is called Vishnu, Brahma and Shiva. The best results for the devotees will come from Vishnu, which Shuddha Sattva Bhava. So this is what tells us that in Bhakti we have to worship Bhagavan alone, giving up the worship of the Devata. So this is divinity. So this divinity can help us focus our efforts of sadhana and sharanagati to single point, right? So that's why we have to know the difference, right? So Shiva and Vishnu are very close in one sense. Brahmaji says that Kshiram yatha dadi vikara vishesha yogat sanjayate hinna tatha pratagasti heto yah shambhutam api tatha samupayati karyat govindamadi purusham tamaham bhaja. So he is saying that both are almost same only, but still there is different. So what is that? That as soon as Lord Vishnu touches mental energy for sake of service, right? What is that? Shira Vikara Vishesh Sanjayate Nittata Pruthagasti Hetu. Yah Shambhu Pratam Api Tatha Samupaiti Karyat. Samupaiti Karyat means with the desire to serve. When Lord Vishnu touches mental energy, he becomes Shiva. Just as transformation from milk to curd by touching in culture. Right? So this difference has to be clearly understood. that Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva and Brahma, what is the difference? So Brahmaji is Jiva most of the time. But Shiva and Vishnu are more or less same only. But what is the difference? One is touching the matter and one is just in proximity of matter. And both are doing their service. Right? So, and they are serving the Supreme Lord Bhagavan. Right? As Kaviraj Goswami says, Ekala Ishvara Krishna Arasabha Bhritya, Yare Aiche Karaiye Taiche Kare Nritya. So even all the other Purusha Avataras and incarnations are servants of Krishna. Right? So Lord Vishnu is transcendental. So he remains proximity with external energy, Sanidhya, Matra. So he is not touching matter, but he is maintaining Sattva Guna. Whereas Lord Shiva is touching matter. So that's why the extent of bliss reduces. So it eclipses because touches of matter, right? That's why you see, like I think in this, no, may not be in this canto, Lord Shiva, upon talking with Sati, trying to tell her that, my dear Sati, actually I was respecting, it's not that I intentionally didn't bow down to, your, your father, but I was in Samadhi. But your, father spoke very harsh words. So the harsh words created a tinge of little dissatisfaction in Shiva. And this is because of his touching man. He's also Atmaram, but little bit of emotion, negative emotion awakened for a while. But Krishna, there is no question of negative emotion because he's completely transcendental. When Shishupal was criticizing him left, right, center, everyone was angry, the Pandavas. But Krishna was not affected. So Yudhishthir was asking question. So Narad Muni told, my dear Yudhishthir, this person is never affected by such things. So that is Krishna. That is Ashraya Tattva, which is completely transcendental. Whereas Lord Shiva is touching matter for service, not touching matter like a jiva, according to his karma and according to his desire to enjoy this world. So that way, this tattva of Shiva also has to be properly grasped. So since this purport was small, so I thought of elaborating that through the context of Sharanagati and Ashraya Tattva. So to summarize, what I told is that how this verse is speaking about impersonal Brahman and Lord Vishnu, and they are all glorifying Lord Shiva to be Vishnu and being representing him. So this Sharanagati, which actually the material world will force us on. If we are pious, we'll approach proper Sharanagati. And we can do pure Sharanagati to the degree we have right conception, right sadhana, and right level of surrender. So that's what we saw, and how the Ashraya Tattva is different than all other Ashraya Tattva. And we also saw that how this whole process of sadhana is nothing but this Samudra Manthan only. That we are trying to churn our consciousness and we have to see the halal and we take shelter of Vaishnavas when halal comes out. We have to see that halal before the love of God opens. So these are few thoughts which I thought of sharing based on this small purpose. I'm grateful to all of you for your patient hearing. Hare Krishna. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for such a beautiful class. Very grateful to you. I like the point that how to surrender and whom to surrender. There are many incarnations of the Lord, but Krishna is the supreme. You should always, our one-pointed attention is Krishna through the mercy of Gaur Nitai. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very beautiful class, Prabhu, and explaining the difference between Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan, and also difference between Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. So thank you so much, Prabhu. Very, very grateful to you. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. If you have any questions, realizations, please go ahead. You can unmute and ask. Yes, Vasundhara Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranams to you.
Hare
Beautiful
Krishna.
session. It was really subtle insights. I really liked it. Today's question might be not connect directly to the class today, but a basic general question, Prabhuji. You can choose not to respond if you feel it not relevant. Prabhuji, we know the Navavida Bhakti, like, Shravanam Kirtanam. And Kirtanam refers, what we understand is the chanting. Is that right, Prabhuji? The chanting that we do as per the regulative principles stipulated by Srila Prabhupada. So, Sankirtan means congregational chanting. Is my understanding right, Prabhuji? So, the Yuga Dharma speaks about Sankirtan is the Yuga Dharma, right? So, how do we understand? Because we are doing chanting, right? Chanting is japa, which is done individually. I mean, we do it to, we do ourselves to please Lord Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu propagated the Sankirtana, which is the Yuga Dharma. So I'm little confused about it, Prabhuji, because there is a difference in terms of Sankirtan and Kirtan. Is it right, Prabhuji? So could
Yeah.
you please throw some light on this?
Yes,
Hare
I'll
Krishna.
try doing that. In case there are questions on what I already spoke, I would like to take them. And surely, if it is possible for you to wait for a while,
I'm actually on the way to temple, so I was listening while I was traveling, Prabhuji. In 5 minutes, I should be reaching the temple. If it's okay with you, you can respond, provide the response, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I leave it to Shri.
Mataji, you can listen all later also online. Prabhuji
Sure.
will respond, but first we will take the question related to the class. Yeah,
that
Hemangi
is
Mataji, please go ahead with your
the
question.
general culture of Shravanam is that we inquire from what is spoken generally, and then there is. So that's why I'm sorry, Mataji. I will surely address.
Definitely, we also follow the same pattern, Prabhuji, but we initially used to announce that regularly, but now that everybody knows the pattern, so we don't announce it.
But
Hemangi Mataji, please go ahead with your
a
question.
genuine question will be surely addressed. Okay, Mataji, sorry. Yes, Hemangi Gopeshwari Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you for giving me the opportunity. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, very beautiful class. I just wanted to, if you could elaborate, you mentioned that there is a difference between how an impersonalist approaches, like you gave the example of water, and what is going through his mind versus a bhakta's mind is saying is offering gratitude while drinking water. And I think if I understood correctly, the impersonalist is just saying, oh, this is water is also the Lord, and I am drinking it. Can you elaborate on this concept with some more examples, how to differentiate how the two approach things in life?
Yes, Mataji, surely. Very
Thank you,
nice.
Prabhu.
This actually Srila Prabhupada only says in that very purport of Bhagavad Gita itself. So actually what we have to decipher is that how Krishna is actually making everything lively. That is Brahman realization. Right? Drinking water and becoming grateful to Krishna is accepting his Brahman aspect and being grateful to the Bhagavan. This is what is the feeling of a devotee. Right? Whereas the impersonalist doesn't have that kind of disposition. So you can see, I'm showing the Prabhupada's brilliant words in that purport. Rasohanam Sukunteya. Oh, I think here Prabhupada says that very good. Is there in this one? Yeah. The impersonalist perceives the presence of Lord in water by its taste. And the personalist also glorifies the Lord for his kindly sublime tasty water to quench man's thirst. That is the way of perceiving Supreme. Practically speaking, there is no conflict between personalism and impersonality. One who knows God knows that impersonal conception and personal conception are simultaneously present in everything, and there is no contradiction. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya established sublime doctrine called Achintya Bheda Veda Tattva. So this is what I was trying to explain, Mataji. Somehow Prabhupada has. So coming to other examples, so just see this whole section of Bhagavad Gita. Actually, Bhagavad Gita is such a love letter of Supreme Lord, actually. So here Lord is telling the first secret he is releasing. In first 6 chapters, Lord is telling what he's telling, that, understand you are not this body, your spirit, soul, and perform Nishkarma Karma Yoga and attain impersonal Brahman. But what he is releasing secret in 7th chapter is, you are not this body, your spirit, soul. That is all right. That is perfect. But first you understand this matter is mine. No? So that's how he begins by telling in 7.4. Krishna is telling, like this verse is telling, as I was telling, that everything is Krishna's energy. Right? Jiva, Maya, Shakti, Niyanta. That is Paramatma. Right? So everything in this material world belongs to Krishna. So the verse Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayu Kham, just 3 verses before that. And then Krishna is telling you, living, you are also mine, and your body is also mine only. Your senses are also mine. Everything is mine. And I only create and I only destroy that. That's how he says in the 6th verse of Bhagavad Gita. And the 7th verse speaks that Mattaha Parataram Nanyat Kinchidasti Dhananja. Mahi Sarvamidam Protam Sutre Gani Manani. So Arjuna may ask, my dear Lord, everything is coming from you, everything is destroyed by you. I appreciate. What about the maintenance part of everything? So Krishna says, I am the maintainer. I am entering into matter and giving its potency. Like Sutre Mani Ganaiva means what? I am entering. You may not be able to see me, but I am the material cause of everything you experience and everything you see and perceive. And I am the efficient cause as well. So what do you mean by efficient cause is state of existence. So when we understand that state of existence is Supreme Lord, then we can become grateful. Like very simple example, you go to Vrindavan, and my Guru Maharaj says that there are so many holy places all over Govardhan, but there is one holy place in between where devotees purchase that Son Papdi, like for example, that famous, or any other. So the life of Son Papdi, who decides? Or life of any fruit, who decides? The state of existence. So that is the Supreme Law. So that is what is Brahman portion of Supreme. So this is what, and now coming to examples, when Lord is saying that I am the thread in the previous verse, this verse, right? I am the thread in the Sutre Mani Ganaya, right? Pulse turn. So he may ask, can you give examples? I am not able to see you in the material world. Then he says, I will give you a few examples. So he begins from text 8, 9, 10, and 11. And he is giving all the examples. So Rasoham Apsu Kaunteya. So as I told you that right from the pleasure of drinking water to quench our thirst, to the pleasure of sex life, which is considered the highest pleasure in this material world. And if it is done on dharmic principles, that also is Krishna. So does anything remain in between? So that is what he's telling. And the example of this, it's a very extreme example. I am a little bit hesitant to give. However, it is there in Bhagavatam, so I will try to give that. So our Yayati is there, not Yayati, Pururava was very much attached to Urvashi for many thousands of years, right? So he is telling the Supreme Lord. So 9th canto, we see that is all, actually Pururava was not at all a lusty man at all. He was a great king and very dharmic king. But he was distracted by Urvashi. And that's how he lost many things. And eventually he kind of became mad only. And then he went to her planet and all that. That is there in 9th canto. But the whole story ends in 11th canto, where Krishna is telling Aila Geet. And what he is telling in Aila Git is very, very striking. So this is this one verse I want to show, which is one example in Bhagavatam. So he is expressing his experience of the most beautiful Urvashi. And now, who is Urvashi actually? Urvashi is not an ordinary lady actually. Urvashi is created by the Supreme Lord only, from his thighs, right? So this verse is telling that So I'm just, I think we are able to see the verse. So he is saying that, my dear Lord, so this is Aila Git which he would sing it. And Krishna is knowing because he is indicating Krishna. So he is telling this verse, I am fool, to hell with me. I am such a fool that I did not even know what is good for me. Although I arrogantly thought I was highly intelligent. Although I achieved exalted position of a ruler, I allowed myself to be conquered by woman as if I were a bullock or a donkey. And then he is saying, Sevato varsha puganme urvasya adarasavam natupyat atma bhukamam vanir ahutir bhairyatha. He's saying, even after I had relished the nectar of the lips of Urvashi for many years, the desires arising in my mind were never satisfied. Just as fire can never be satisfied by oblations of ghee. So having said that, this is the verse I wanted to show. So what he is telling, Om Shalyam Apartam Chittam Konvanyomo Chitum Prabhu Atmaramishwaram Riti Bhagavantam Adhokshajam. Who but the Supreme Lord who produces sense knowledge, who is the master of self-satisfied sages, can possibly save my consciousness, which has been stolen by a prostitute? So he is telling now that, my dear Lord, you are Adhokshaja. So means how you can become free from that experience of taste, because you have given me that taste, so you can take away that taste. So that's what he's telling. Because from Lord comes the knowledge which is condemned. Akshaja adhaha. So the pleasures of material world, because we desire, Lord is giving them. But so he's praying to the Lord, my dear Lord, no one, even Atma Rama or a sage, can be free the mind of a person delighting in the body. But master of Atma Ramas, that is Bhagavantam, that is Lord, can do this because he has greatest powers. So this is actually, in one sense, I would say the pinnacle of the Brahman realization, the potency or the life of anything material which we try to enjoy is the Supreme Lord's entry. So then you can take any example, and other than I told about eatables or this. So any state of existence is that Brahman realization. I don't know if it helps.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. This was wonderful. Very nicely explained. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, there is one question in the chat box. I think just now they posted. I understand the last line. This is
Anujal
Samarpan.
Giridhari Gupta Mataji. Should I read?
Yes, Prabhuji, please go ahead.
I understand by last lines this Samudra Manthan is referred to our life, and halahal means problem we approach to Vaishnav or help, and pure Vaishnav devotees help to reach Lord absolute truth. Still I am wondering, is there difference between Shiva we pray in temple and Sada Shiva and Shambhu and Rudra, and they are all same one with different names? Please ignore if my question is invalid. No, Mataji, there is nothing invalidity here. So as far as I understand, actually, the Shiva Tattva is one of the difficult four tattvas. So I have heard from many senior devotees that four tattvas are very difficult to digest. Who are they? There is Radha Tattva, there is Nama Tattva, there is Guru Tattva, and there is Shambhu Tattva. So these four tattvas, so I am also trying to understand, and there is not much description. So whatever I understand, I can tell you. So actually, Sadashiva is eternally, he is not touching matter at all. Okay, this 400 form in this, it is there beyond the material world. And Sadashiva expand, when it touches the matter, it becomes Shambhu through the glance of Mahavishnu. And the Rudras are those who are created by Brahma when he becomes angry. 11 Rudras. Right? So that way they are connected, but they are different. Okay. So it is not because there is only one Sadashiv. There are so many Shambhus in so many universes. And there is so many Rudras, 11 Rudras, and then so many universes there. So that way there is differences actually. So there is a difference and in that. So there is Rudra, Shiva, and Sadashiva. So this is what my limited understanding, Mataji, based on what I have heard. I hope it helps. Anjali Giridhari Mataji.
Okay. Sudhakar Prabhuji, please go ahead with your question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Sudhakar
So
Prabhu.
maybe I didn't understand full tattva, but maybe if you can help me to clarify this dot. What I understood from this verse is that the demigods are praying to the Lord Shiva, indirectly to referring to the Vishnu, right? This is what I understood. If they are indirectly referring to the Vishnu, then why they are approaching Shiva? And it is something not clear. Or in other way, I understood that even they consider Lord Shiva and Vishnu are same. That's why they're residing indirectly with Lord Shiva. So there is confusion. Then why they need to approach Lord Shiva when they are already approached initially with Lord Vishnu or Brahma for the root cause of the problem? Something not clear. Sorry, Prabhuji. It may be stupid question.
No, it's a wonderful question. Who said it is stupid question? Actually, Lord Vishnu is also there with them, Can you imagine? Who is, he's also there actually. It's not written anywhere, but I heard. So what I heard, Prabhu, is that I think Madhvacharya says that Lord wants to glorify his devotee, and he wants to give him eternal glory as a Nilakantha. So that Supreme Lord is requesting them that let us go to Lord Shiva. Like similarly, Lord told them to go to Dadichi also, right? When the Vitrasura had come, so Lord Vishnu can immediately respond to them, right? Lord Vishnu gave them darshan in the 6th canto, but then he gave them a process by which they approach, Vishwarup, they approach, then of course after that there are Vitrasura. Then they approach Dadichi Muni, and then they hear from him, and then they make Vajra and all that, right? So Lord actually, when he wants to teach the Devatas, he doesn't give the immediate thing because he wants them to get purified, right? So here also, Lord can do everything, no? Everything in like this he can do. But what is use of that? So he is telling them to do truths. He's personally participating in the truths. He's personally expanding in so many ways to assist them. Then why he has to go to Shiva? Because he wants to glorify his devotee. Vaishnavana yatha Shambhu. Eternally glorify. So this is one thing which I think Madhvacharya says it will come in the future purports also. And we can see that Lord Shiva is also very clearly expressing to Parvati that, I want to please Lord Hari, and for his pleasure, I will do whatever pleases him. So this exchange is shown through this entire incidents, right? So this is the intention of Lord. while he is enacting, because he's relishing. It is told in, I think, previous verses, no, that Lord wanted to relish the Samudra Manthan. So Lord is always doing Leela. He is always enjoying his pastimes. And he wants to glorify his devotees. So Shiva is the greatest Vaishnava. So he took them there. Right? So that is my understanding. And in today's discussion, we can understand that how such pastimes create little bewilderment in different worshippers. So the Bhagavan aspect remains Guhya one. And that's how Lord wants to keep it. Right? So it is not self-evident actually to worship the Bhagavan. So that's why such pastimes are there, where at the crucial juncture, the Lord Shiva. So there will be people, like Lord does so many such pastimes, right? And people get confused, like Maushala Leela did. So many people get confused that, see, Gandhari cursed and he has to suffer along with his whole family members. Finished. So, Parokshvadam Mama Priya. So, Bhakti, Shuddha Bhakti, and complete pure devotion to Supreme Lord Krishna is hidden in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. And if one approaches it with right intention, like Bhagavatam acts like Mohini Murti also, Vishwanath says. So if you approach with right intention, you will get the nectar. And if you want the glances and this Mohini Murti enjoyment like demons, then you will get that. You may not get the nectar. So Bhagavatam has such pastimes, and history there are such pastimes where such things happen. Even Lord Ram is worshipping Shiva in Rameshwaram, right? So it confuses people, right? So a sincere person will inquire, and the insincere will get deviate. So this is another just a reflection since you asked, and it's not at all a foolish question. There is no foolish question in this world which is about Krishna. So I hope.
Okay, Prabhuji. Yeah, you clarified just suppose as a sadhak, basic sadhak like me, if we pray like Shiva or any other demigod, but with the intention of the purity or the ultimate devotion to the Lord Krishna, it is nothing wrong, right? This is what I
It is
understood from
wonderful.
this verse.
What to speak of wrong? It is wonderful. Actually, that we have to, because they are devotees, bro. All demigods. Why only Shiva? Means if we are going through some temple of Ganesh, we can offer prayers to Ganesh that, you are Vigna Harta, please remove all obstacles from my pure devotion to Krishna. And they can bless actually. They are devotees. So you should
Yeah.
not just not. Yes, they have potential to bless us. Like Dhruva Maharaj took blessings from Kuvera for pure devotion.
Okay.
So surely, Prabhuji, every one of us, devotee is a beggar of blessings from anyone and everyone. Provided he is praying for the, as you said very nicely, pure intention.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prabhuji, because I was just a little bit confused initially, but now I think you clarified. And later, when you're telling, I was also realized, yes, we can pray to anybody, but if our main intention of the prayer is for the Lord, there is nothing wrong. This verse, I think, this is indirectly saying they are approaching Shiva, but in heart they are trying to glorify Lord Vishnu. This is
Yes.
what
So
I try to
now,
correlate.
yeah, now having said this, what about demigods? So there are different demigods, bro.
Yeah,
So
different demigod, yeah,
Brahmaji is
not all.
extremely clear. Brahmaji is crystal clear, but others, we don't know who is understanding what he is understanding, right? So they are Artha Sankirtan, I'm saying, right? Artha Sankirtan means you are in distress now. You, like in Marathi, there is one saying, Adla Hari Gadvache Pay Dhari. Means what? When you are in distress, you can take shelter of anyone and everyone. So one may not know also who he is taking shelter. So now which devata is doing what, we don't know. But Brahma is the best devata, who is a pure devotee, who is guiding them. So they are followers of Brahma and so on. So that way we can understand. Okay, about the devatas especially, the devatas are praying here, right? That,
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Prahladanand Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu. Any comment?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, very nice. Dandavat Pranam, please. And before I give my reflection, I just want to add to what Sudhakar Prabhuji was saying. There is a temple here in Las Vegas before ISKCON temple came up, and I used to go to the Sanatan temple there. And there are,
Which temple?
Can you hear me?
Which temple, Prabhu?
This is called Sanatan temple. Sanatan
Okay.
Hindu temple, yeah.
Okay,
And
okay.
there are other deities also there. So I was not very clear what to do about that. The Bhavan Krishnamurti is all there. But I used to offer prayers to Lord Shankar, Lord Ganeshji and Durgaji according to the Brahma Samhita slokas. Yes, Divika like that. And still I do that. Whenever I go to other deities, I refer to Brahma Samhita slokas, which are ending with Govinda Madi Purushottam. So this was little reflection I was, tempted to give.
Best reflection.
Thank you, Praveen. Another thing which I wanted to say was about Pururava. I like it, you were referring. Kim Vidyaya, Kim Tapasa, Kim Gnatena Sutena va. Kim Viviktena Maunena Stribhiryasyam Manovruti. This is the bondage Lord Krishna has put in this material world for all of it. Kim Vidyaya, Kim Tapsa. All this is futile if your mind is at.
Verse number, Prabhu, this?
I'm not sure which number is that, but it's in Pururava Gita. Kim Vidyaya, Kim Tapasa.
Kim Vidyaya, okay. I'm just seeing, huh?
Okay.
Yeah, you continue, bro.
Yeah. So Kim Vidya, that's the whole thing. And then I was referring, how can we get above this attraction we have for spouses and other things, like children and other things. And then the other slok came from Rusabdev Maharaj. Rusabdev Maharaj also say, Yeva mai se kruta saurudarta janesu deham bharvartikesu. Gruhesu jayasi jarati masu na priti yukta yavad arthasya loke. So he's teaching us that, okay, you involve, but how much? As much as salt needed in cooking the dal, not much more than that. Yavad arthasya loke, as much as it is.
Yavad
Yavad arthasya loke. And then Bhavan Krishna has also promised so nicely that, piche suduracharo bhajate mamananyavak sadhuru samuttar. And he says, samyak vyavasita vaisa. So if we are somehow or other through the channel of Sri Prabhupada's teachings and our satsang in the ISKCON, if we are attached to Lord Sri Krishna exclusively, then probably, we will not fall down, we achieve the result of love for Lord. This is my little reflection, Prabhuji, I just wanted to share. Thank you very much and very beautiful class, Prabhuji. Haribo.
Thank you. Thank you for your reflection. And as I shared that actually what is the way out? It's Bhagwantam Adokshajam. So he is giver of taste and he can take away the taste which we have in this matter. So it's he only, because he's only giving the taste. So he can take away the taste.
That's right. Yes.
And he can give his taste. So we have to aspire for that, and I am also aspiring. Let us pray for each other that one day have that taste.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yes, Dr. Prabhu, you have something else or it's earlier hand on?
Yeah, sorry, Prabhuji, if you have time. When you're saying this particular topic of that and the taste of the water, and that if you remove the taste, I was just thinking this some time back, like we today, we are struggling with the control of the mind, right? Like our mind is not perfect. So I was trying to contemplate on it. If Lord is, all super power, then why he is, when we pray to the God, we cannot control these senses. Why don't you control my senses? So, or why he's not doing that when we pray? I don't know. Is it making sense of that prayer, or
No,
is it something
definitely.
nonsense?
Actually, what you say is prayer of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Exactly, he prays like that only. My dear Lord, you are Rishikesh. You, you are master of senses. You control my senses. So, actually, but are we asking like that to the Lord? That is the heartily. So, this is a song. You have heard this song. What is that? Gopinath Mama Nivedana Shuno. You have heard this
No,
song
Prabhuji.
anytime?
No.
Gopinath Mama Nivedana Shuno. I don't know, any one of you have, you can share that. So it is there in the third song of Gopinath, where exactly Sudhakar Prabhu, your feelings are explained by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So anyone can Google it. This Gopinath
Yes,
Amara
Prabhuji,
Amara Nandi.
I'm trying to
In this,
share
if you
that.
see, he's saying, as you are saying, exactly, he's praying like that. Gopinath mana ye pagala mora, namane shasana, sada achetana, vishaye raiche gora. My dear Gopinath, my mind is pagal, mind is mad. It never hears any instructions, always unconscious of you, and it goes behind sense objects. So, and this is the first one, Mataji. Second and third, there are three songs of Gopinath, three you can put. So it's a beautiful prayer story. So here he is saying in fifth verse, "Ke mone haibe gati, prabala indriya vashibhuta mana nachade vishayarati." My indriyas are so powerful and mind is so difficult to control. It never gives up the sense objects and the taste in sense objects, as we discussed about Pururava, right? But then he is saying in the seventh verse of this
I
Gopinath
put
Anath,
the same thing.
third one, Anatha dekhiya more, tumi rishikesha, rishikadamiya, taro hai samsmriti ghore. So he's saying, my dear Lord, you are saying me Anath. I have no proper master. No, yeah, please read. Oh, you Rishikesh, oh Lord of the senses, seeing me so helpless, please control these senses of mine and deliver me from this dark, perilous worldly existence. So, that way, this is fact actually. However, what is there important is putting our dependence on Supreme Lord with the mind and the senses. That remembrance of Supreme Lord and dependence on Supreme Lord is the essence of bhakti, actually. So that's what is our hope, probably. So now you want to say that why is it that Lord is not controlling like that? You are saying, if we want to serve Lord, and then why so much problem is there? Like that you are saying too.
No, I was sorry. I was just telling. Sometimes I pray God like that. I don't know whether it is correct prayer or stupid prayer, but I
So
thought
now
when you told
what
me
you
about the
felt?
taste, remove the taste.
Yeah, now Bhaktivinoda Thakur is praying like you only, right? Or rather, you are praying like him.
I don't know. I just tried to ask you. Thank you so much for clarifying that for me.
Wonderful prayer. It's wonderful prayer. Remember Krishna. That is our hope. And when he wants, he will control our senses. Otherwise, he will want us to keep on churning, keep on churning. So we should continue churning the manthan of our consciousness. And halahal will come, and so many good things also will come, but we should not get distracted by them. Yes. Thank you, Sudhakar Prabhu. So I think Mataji's question was there, na? Mataji, I think left, na? Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. She left the class, yeah.
Okay. So I'll quickly say a few words about it.
Yes, Prabhuji, please go ahead.
So as per my remembrance, the question was that what is difference between kirtan, sankirtan, and when we say chanting and congregational chanting, no? Something like that she asked as per my remembrance. So
She was asking like Navavida Bhakti Kirtanam, and then Yuga Dharma is congregational chanting, something related like that. She was asking, Prabhu.
correct, and we do japa alone, right? And Sankirtan is Yoga Dharma, where collectiveness is there. So, how do we understand the differences? So, number one is that Kirtan means glorification. It is not just chanting. So, when we say chanting, generally what comes to our mind is this, right? And it is correct. But Kirtan is far broader and bigger than just this bead bag, because Kirtan means glorifying the Supreme Lord. So glorifying can be done through so many things. Like Shiva, in this particular context which we are discussing, is glorifying Lord Vishnu by activities. He is taking the poison for pleasure of Shiva, his Lord. So Kirtan is glorifying the Supreme Lord. So it can be Nama Kirtan, Guna Kirtan, Leela Kirtan, Parikar Kirtan. So glorification, and even actions we can glorify. We don't have to speak. Actions speak, like Haridas Thakur is chanting, but glorifying the Supreme Lord. So glorifying. So that is the meaning of Kirtan. It's a glory. Glorifying means what? It is not, other people also can understand. If you say glorify, praise and worship, reveal the glory through one's actions. Describe or represent as admirable, especially unjustifiably. Now, of course, that is not the case with the Lord. So, the Kirtan itself is the word itself is kru. Word is kirti. Kirti is glorification. So that is what, and one part of it is Nam Sankirtan. The Nam Sankirtan has two aspects. One is japa, which is done for one's own purification and to follow the instruction of Srila Prabhupada and spiritual master, which we must do, which is the most important instruction. And second is congregational chanting or loud chanting. So that helps others also. And when we say Sankirtan, that is Bahubhir Militva Kirtan. Means there is not just you, not just loudly, but together. So this is Yuga Dharma. Together doing loud Sankirtan is Yuga Dharma. Right? And that's what was done predominantly at the time of Srila Prabhupada for many, many hours actually. Especially Nama Sankirtan was there. And what is Bhagavatam class, Bhagavad Gita class? That also in Sankirtan actually. So many people are sitting and one person is glorifying, and then that one person other glorifies, like now Prahladanand or other devotees glorified the Lord. They also hear. So that part is also glorifying. It's glorification of Katha or Guna. So that is Sankirtan, loudly. So holy name is there surely. The Yuga Dharma, the highest power is there in that Nama Sankirtan. So, but when we say Sankirtan, that is collective. And the essence of Sankirtan, so Sankirtan is not just taking Mridang Kartal together and singing holy names or Vaishnava songs. The deeper aspect of Sankirtan is having the same motivation of pleasing Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu together, in spite of differences. So this is the deepest meaning of Sankirtan, which is the spirit of it. It is not just an activity. It is the spirit of togetherness, glorifying the Lord. So that is the true Sankirtan, which was depicted by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates. There might be varieties of differences among the devotees, but they are together when the glorification of God happens. So that is the true spirit of Sankirtan. So when it comes to japa and congregational chanting, that is the difference. So these are a few thoughts, Mataji. Hope Mataji will get, or if something remains.
Yeah, definitely, Prabhuji. I will send her the link also to watch. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for answering that question too. Patiently answering so many questions and beautiful class on this auspicious day of Balram Purnima. We are very grateful to you, Prabhuji. We would like to offer our obeisances to you. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhu bhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Grace Samarpan Gopa Prabhuji ki jai.
Jai.
Jai, jai. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Radhe Radhe.
Nityananda.
Radhe Radhe.
Nityananda.
Thank you so much,
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe
Hari
Radhe.
Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dear devotees, closing the call.